Hey guys, this is 681 Shadow, your CPC commissioner here, and today we have yet another coach interview, and today we are interviewing the new CPC co-commissioner in Phalop, coach of the Dewford Drapions. Say hello.
Hi everyone, this is Phalop, coach of the Dewford Drapions, and yeah, I'm since the off season the new co-commissioner of the CPC, and I'm really happy with the role and just being able to put so much time and effort into this really quite great league.
Yeah, definitely. So, to get on to the first question, um, doing a bit of reflecting on
hmm
how we did previously. How do you feel about how you did in CPC season 3?
I think it was really an up and down season, I must say. I think I ended up being 7-5, just slightly ahead of Aberford with differential, and like I had quite some tight games. Like I remember against Gypsy was a really close and nice game. Like I lost that one, but it wasn't that bad. But I had some bad losses along the road, like Aberford and Seb. I lost to those guys once. It was really hexy, so was a bit down, and it was really looking hard to make playoffs, but I eventually made playoffs, which was really nice. And then first round I faced Maddie. We had a great match. I just had really solid prep. I put a lot of time into my prep, and I was able to overcome the match. And beat him and advance to semis, and Ape was there again. We played for the third time, and that was really hard. Like it was the end of Gen 6, and my motivation was already slimming down a lot. And to prep for a third time around was for me really hard because I couldn't find like any really new sets that I thought would be able to work. Because like the first time around I had won quite with a large margin. The second time around I lost a close game with a lot of hacks involved. But the third time, I know how Ape plays. Ape can play really aggressively, and I didn't do that. I didn't take that into account. I played really safely the first few turns, and that costed me like the whole game. And that was it. I was a bit let down in the end, but I was like, okay, I still made semis, and overall it was a great season. It would have been nice to make finals and maybe potentially go all the way, but I was still quite happily with my performance last season.
All right, yeah, you definitely did. You definitely did well. Beat me one time in our division,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely a very solid season on your part.
hmm
So to move on now, how exactly did you get into competitive Pokemon? How did you get into the draft format?
Yeah. So I think to go into competitive Pokemon, like it was always like a little bit. I was interested in it. I remember like late Gen 5, I was like making on my DS, making teams, like weather teams, and I really enjoyed making those and breeding those, but it was like I had nobody to battle with, and so I didn't do much battling. And then Gen 7, no, Gen 6 rolled around, and early X and I did a lot of breeding. I did some battles. I tried to find battles, but it was really hard because I also, I'm European, and mostly, like in America, it also feels a lot more easy. I don't know how, but so I was just I didn't do much battling, and until later, I think I discovered Showdown somewhere, but I don't know if it was draft format or Showdown first. I don't know. I haven't done much lettering at all, yeah, even. So I was just watching the GBA. I really got into the GBA in I believe season 4. I started by I watched Shady Penguin, and I got more into the GBA, and I started to watch like all the coach and really take notes and such. And I really enjoyed watching that. And I was really looking into leagues for myself, but as I mentioned, it was for me really hard. So I was looking to fora, and I was looking to ways to get into a league, but I couldn't really find a good way. And then just by chance, there was like a comment on a GBA video, and they were talking about a league and that they needed people, and I knew me and my brother were quite interested, so I hit the guy up, and we joined the league, and that's why I met Anthony, who most of you guys pretty well known, and things took off from there. I think for now I've been 2-3 years I've been playing league format, all by almost always together with Anthony. I learned a lot from him because he had a lot of experience also with Showdown and such. And that's my whole how I got into the competitive side.
All right. So to move on, as you kind of touched on,
Mm-hmm.
how much Pokemon draft experience do you have? Like, have you been in
Yeah.
any notable leagues, things
Mm-hmm.
like that?
Yeah, so early Gen 6, we had like around 3 seasons of our own league called the BCF at that point, a league by Anthony. It kind of died out from there, like seasons also went shorter and shorter because, not that many battles were happening, so we made playoffs early. I did, I think, 1 or 2 side leagues at that point. And then the GPC applications roll around, and I got to know some of the GPC guys already, and I got into touch with one of the admins, and I was invited into the tournament, and unfortunately I didn't make it out of pool play because one match I won, one match it was a really close loss where in the end I just clicked like the wrong move. I didn't think things through, and that really cost me the game. And then the third game I kind of lost to Dewford, who's now also in the CPC, by him not having Protect Mega Beedrill. I don't know if you guys know, but in Gen 6 almost every Mega Beedrill runs Protect because of the speed issue you had turn 1. So that really costed me that game. So I really thought I had no chance of making the GPC, but then they contacted me that they still wanted me into the GPC because they were looking to expand. A lot of old coaches left, and I thought, okay, that's a really great opportunity. So now I've been in the GPC for 2 seasons. Last season I made playoffs. I had quite a well. I think I only had 3 losses in the main season, where one was in the last week, which was quite. That was just a me match. I made playoffs already. The guy couldn't make playoffs. One legitimate loss and one loss because my internet died out midway through the battle, cost me like 1-2 turns. And then I faced Shadi, a quite well-known battler. I think you also know him, or you don't. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I lost to him round 1 in the playoffs. It was a really hexy match on both sides. It was an ugly match, just to say. And this season I'm also in playoffs. And we will just see that it will be this upcoming weekend, so definitely look out on your Discord channels and the GPC Twitter, because we will be announcing when the matches will go live. So that's the most notable leagues I've been in, and then the CPC, it's now also my 2nd season, which is slowly becoming also a quite well-known league, I have to say.
All right. Yeah, definitely. You have a very solid record of leagues, and definitely you have been one of the big parts that has helped CPC to grow, in my opinion.
Yeah, thank you.
So to move on now, what are your opinions regarding the meta changes between Generation 6 and Generation 7? Like, how do you feel about everything that changed and some of the new mechanics such as
I think regarding the months, like it's only 80 new months upon the what would it be, 720 we already had, or 600 something. So it's not that big of a deal. There are quite a lot of months, mainly the Ultra Beast kinda, but they are slowing down a little bit. But especially the Tapus are really prominent, and there are some hidden gems along the line. Some mons that are quite used well in the format. But overall, the mons are just a tad bit too slow. We already saw it when the stats were revealed. Most mons just are too slow to be really great in the format, and that's really unfortunate. And that's why most drafts will not have that many Gen 7 mons, and especially now the hype of Gen 7 is quiet out a little bit. People will generally draft just teams they are comfortable with, or just a team which might involve 1 or 2 Gen 7, but you won't see that many mons on one team. So I think with that, that's it about the mons. Like, we got the Tapus introduced the rain, which for me, as someone who doesn't do much only draft experience, I don't face that many Tapus. So I still recently forgot about like the earthquake being weaker in grassy terrain and things like that. Those are still things that you have to take into account for now, and that's really new still for me. So that's as far as the mons go.
Alright, yeah, definitely. I actually didn't know that Earthquake does less in grassy terrain.
Yeah,
But
Earthquake, Magnitude, and Bulldoze. Those three moves.
yeah, I'm still learning a lot about like the terrains and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I definitely agree with what you said on how since the Gen 7 meta, I think the Gen 7 hype has died down,
Mm-hmm.
that you're not really you don't see like a lot of Gen 7 mons on people's teams. Like when it first came out, people were like, "Oh, I just want to use all these Gen 7 mons."
Yeah.
But now because people know what's good, what's bad,
Mm-hmm.
that because of that now people are and basically people are choosing like I would say better teams
Yeah.
rather than just being like, "Oh, I want to try a team. I want to draft a team of all 11 Gen 7
Yeah.
mons."
True. Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about Z moves? Like, do you think any of them are broken at all?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, I think definitely some support C moves like the Omni Boost and Belly Drum and such. There are quite some broken ones. I think it's hard to justify also support C moves because there might be like hidden gems in certain move pools that is can be hard to take account of. Like for example, Z Trick gives you a +2 speed boost, so someone that doesn't learn agility can kind of get an agility with a Z move. It costs you it costs you an item and a move slot, so you have to keep that into account. So I think it's really hard to justify all the support moves, but the problem is we don't have a testing committee or something in the league format, so we can't really justify banning them or not banning them, I feel. As far as offensive go, I really like offensive C moves. I think they bring a whole new dynamic. I think they are really original, and I think those it defines Gen 7. So I would definitely not ban them. I would limit them to 1, maybe 2 Z move users. I like concept my brother came up with 1 Z move user just in general and 1 Z move user for example below a certain tiering or below a certain point value, so you can see like some underused mons that can really benefit from the Z crystal. For example, and the CPC guys did it still with only one Z move user, for example Aerodactyl and Archeops, which can get great flying step through Z move axis. I think flying step is one of the great one of the most well-known Z moves, but those get him, and also with combination with Stone Age or Head Smash, you don't have to miss them, you get more power. So mons like that can really shine with Z move axis, so I really like that concept.
Yeah, definitely. Like certain mons that weren't able to really shine beforehand now have a bit more presence with Z moves because they can just they can just be really good for certain matchups that you're gonna go through in league format. So, moving right along here, how confident are you going into the new season of CPC?
I think it's quite a hard question because I think I can still perform quite well, and I definitely know I can make playoffs. I don't know how far I will get from there, but it's also just hard because I'm getting busier and busier, and not only that, but also my motivation has been an issue for me quite some time now, and also the experience I have. Like I don't have much battle experience, so I can make a lot of battle errors, and that can really hurt me. So that's something I have to take into account, and also the fact that some people really like to prep extensively and then also do quite a lot of mocks and know the team and look into the opponent and how they play and such. And I think that as a whole really can put you on another level. But as of late, I still like prepping and such, but I don't like doing a lot of mocks, and I don't look also like to also invest time into how my opponent is and how he plays and battles and such. So I think not a lot of people do it, so I think that's quite alright. So it's hard to say how confident I am. I don't even know if I'm more confident this season than last season.
All right, yeah, definitely. Motivation can always be an issue because, like, I remember in previous season, I know I went 2-10, and by the time like week 6 rolled around, I was like not motivated. I was kind of like not motivated whatsoever. But
Yeah.
some things, like in certain situations, some things just um, keep you what I'm trying to think of. I'm like losing what I want to say, but you want to it makes you want to keep doing what you're doing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like because like see for me because I've been running the league for every season so far, or like because despite me losing most of my games in that season, I still kept going because I knew that I wanted to do the league proud. It's been
Yeah.
like last season. It was
Mm-hmm.
we're on the third season. We really upped our competition this time around, and I don't just want to back out just because just because we have a bunch of people who are better than me.
Yeah.
I can take that to
Mm-hmm.
learn. So I kind of think we're in the same shoes in that perspective,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
as both of us are not as experienced in battle as some other people
Yeah.
that are in the seasons with us. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely the motivation will definitely come to you, man. It
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Thank you.
yeah
Yeah. We'll just see how the season progresses, but I can definitely see it.
yeah. All right, so. Now, this is normally a hard question for coaches to answer,
Mm-hmm.
but in your opinion, who is the most skilled coach in this season of CPC?
Yeah, I think I already mentioned it in the interviews I did. Like, we have a really strong and stacked roster, and I think everyone is beatable. I think this is just true in general. Now, not just no matter how good you are, everyone is beatable. It can be through hacks, it can be just in a legitimate way, and I think it's hard to justify who's the most skilled coach. Like, I know in my interviews, some people said like someone like Togevar or Aberford, because they have been doing quite well in the NPL, which is known for really maybe even the most competitive league out there. And I can definitely see where they're coming from, but like also those guys also have their weaknesses and ups and downs. Like for example, Aberford is, and I already mentioned this in Power Ranks, Aberford is one of the best battlers I know, but it's also one of the most hasty battlers people know, because so he clicks buttons really fast, so he can make misplays quite easily. He's also not that experienced in the draft format, so his drafts and prep might not be the best compared to others. So, and as far as Togevar goes, Togevar is a really solid player and battler, but even Togevar is like, the CPC is not his main league, so he might not invest as much time into it as he would do with the MPL and such. So also expect him to be beatable. So I don't think there's one coach to outshines all. No.
Yeah, definitely. We have a very solid roster this season, and I definitely do agree with your how you talked about Aberforth, because I remember last season when I played him in the second week, which is when I hadn't really learned too much from all the coaches because it was only the second week.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went into it, I thought like, oh, because he's in the NPL, he's doing pretty good, and this was during NPL season 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, he's a pretty solid player, especially since he's in the NPL, and I faced him, and we had a much better match than I did expect, and it was the longest match. It was one of the longest matches of the season, but I'm not sure which one was longer, you versus Will or me versus Abe, but
Yeah, I don't know.
it was
Yeah.
it was basically because for those of you who haven't seen it, but it was basically just he used a Chandelure to trick a scarf onto my Chansey, but I kept being persistent with the Chansey, switching it in and out, passing wishes. That match was a long one, but I do definitely agree. Sometimes making hasty decisions and just not being experienced can be a bit troublesome, but we can all get through it in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely. So, for the season, do you have a coach that you really want to play or that you really don't want to play?
Like I already mentioned, like Aberford. We had a bit of a rivalry last season, and for me, it's like I want to play him again in a way, but also I don't want to play him because his playstyle is so, sometimes like unreadable, but also just a whole lot different from what I'm used of from the general draft league battlers. So he can really throw me off my game, and like that can really hurt me. So in that sense, I don't really want to play him. And then in my division, I have Rob Jr., and I know he's really well known in the Smogon community a little bit, but just his ladder experience. He ladders a lot and uses a lot of different teams, and he has been killing it in draft league format now, also with winning the MPL minors. So I knew he was a really solid battler, and I really wanted the chance to battle him. So that's also the reason why I put him in my division. So I'm really looking forward to my matches versus him.
All right, yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot of people we can look forward to playing in the season. So, moving on to our next question, and this is quite interesting question, and this one typically comes with a bit of a story.
Mm-hmm.
But what, like, back before season 3, what made you decide to want to join CPC?
I think this was around the time that I was potentially getting into the GPC, but nothing was sure just yet, and I was not in like many leagues at that point, and all leagues were like quite small, and I was looking forward to like that step forward, because like I knew Gypsy and Anthony before their MPL days, and I know they made that step. Gypsy went into the MPL, Anthony became an analyst for them, and just reached out to a lot of other people, and I also had the drive and motivation to. And then Anthony was talking about the CPC off season, and how I think he and Gypsy joined like midway through, and also Jolt and Denza were there, and that they were looking for people for season 3 or season 4. No, 3. Yeah, season 3. And that they had quite a stacked roster, because quite a lot of coaches from the MPL were joining, like Sap joined, Trav joined, Aberford, Toke, Gypsy, Maddie, Anthony. So a really stacked roster already, and it was like, okay, that sounds really, really great to have an opportunity like that. So that's why me and also Joost applied, and Anthony vouched for us that we are quite great guys and also good battlers, and that's how I decided to join and make it to the CPC.
Yeah, that was definitely a fun time. Like I remembered, I think I was PMing Anthony, and he was saying like, I know these 2 guys who would be interested in joining the very solid battlers, and I was like, that sounds really cool. And then I think he put us in a little group chat, and then I gave you guys a bit of info, and you and Yost were like, yeah, definitely, we want to join. So it was a really it was really good. It was really good that you guys did join, and we've had a really good time so far, season 3, and now we're going into season 4. Hopefully, to be doing even better. So before we end off the video here, just one last question for you. For the viewers that are watching these interviews, how can they get a hold of you? Like through YouTube, Twitter, etc.
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is just Phalop. And yeah, you can just comment on a video if you want. I don't upload as much. I just generally, when I have leaks around, and those will be starting most likely tomorrow with the CPC draft announcement upload. I will just have like 2 videos a week up with draft league battles. Other than that, I'm also on Twitter at Phalopbus. I don't tweet that much, but I check it quite often, so you can hit me up if you want. And also just the Discord servers. I'm in quite a lot of Discord servers. I don't use the big ones, like I'm in the GBA Discord, but I don't talk there that much. But most likely you have a shared Discord server, so you can also hit me up there. I'm just known as Phalop, so you can find me there. So that's it.
All right, so that's going to be the end of the interview. Do you have anything else you want to say before we end it off?
No, definitely look forward to this season. Check out all the matches, check out all the coaches, and also I'm really sorry that this interview is so long, because it's like double, triple the length of some of the other interviews.
Okay, so with that will be the end. Thank you all for watching. Remember to check out Phalop's links down in the description below. Remember to subscribe to all the coaches as well, for so that the season can go very smoothly, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.